Hi, it's Martin from Flicking Feathers. Today I'm going to be tying a really effective bait fish pattern it's good for pretty much anything that eats small fish. It's a Marc Petijan Magic head bait fish. It's really good for, a range of species. I use it for Japanese sea bass here, bass. It's really good for trout, but you could use it for sea trout. I think in Denmark it's quite a popular pattern for sea trout. So it's well worth sticking some in your box if you fish for any kind of predatory fish and give them a try. So the hook I'm using is a Gamakatsu B10S. This is a size 2. And I've put the appropriately sized magic head already on, ready to start. I'm just using Danvilles flat waxed, 140 denier in white. I'm tying a tan version today. It's basically, I'll either be using this in Tokyo Bay for sea bass. I look a bit, I suppose, a bit like a bay anchovy, kind of generally suggestive, or I'll be using it chasing big trout in a couple of lakes up north here that are full of smelt, which have also got that sort of tan silver colour. So I've just run a base of thread down the shank, and then I'm taking a large Marabou feather, stripping off any kind of raggly bits from the base, and then I'm just going to pull a few bunches of fibres, basically almost half the feather, and then I'll just grab the ends together, give them a twist so that the fibres stay together, and then I'm going to tie it in facing towards the eye, and it's sort of like the opposite direction you would normally tie in a tail. Just trim these butts, kind of worst of them. Leave some there, and don't tidy that up too much, because it helps to sort of keep the tail in the correct profile. So then if you just sort of fold it back, come in front and hollow tie it, like if you tie salmon flies like a temple dog. Just tie in front, do not tie over the Marabou, right? Just build up a sort of thread dam pushing it back, and it'll end up facing back but angled slightly upwards. This really makes it move more, and it also helps to stop it fouling. And then, so keeping with the smelt theme, it's sort of in your tan and silver. So taking a couple of strands of 3 strands here of holographic silver flashabou, and I'll take a couple of strands of pearl as well. This is just a standard flashabou. If you really want it, you could use like a tan pearl or something, but you know, I see a lot of like people think it makes a difference if you use orange pearl or red pearl. You know, I'm not convinced by it, to be honest. Like the pearl will be influenced by the colour that it's lying on anyway. So, you know, if you use just standard pearl over red, you still get the similar effect, or the same effect as if you used a pearl dyed red. So I'm tying the flash the ball all in together along the top of the hook, and I'll fold it back, right, so it can't pull out, it can't slip. That's solid. And I'll stop just slightly in front of the dam, just like one turn of thread in front, and that stops your tinsel forcing the wing flat. And then just cut the tinsel sort of unevenly, and I'll leave it a bit longer than the Marabou. The next part of the body is some polar chenille. This is the long size in silver UV. Just moisten that. Hold it out of the way. Just catch that magic head in. And I tie the tinsel in the length of the body up to the tag of the magic head. It just helps to give a kind of nice even underbody. Put that out of the way. I'm going to make a dubbing loop. Wrap. So you just make a loop and come back over the thread, and then wrap your bobbin around the tied in thread a couple of times to close it at the tie-in end. And I'll come to about where I'm going to tie that in. It should be just on. So I want my dubbing loop to finish sort of just on the back of the magic loop tag, magic head tag, sorry. In the dubbing loop I'm going to put some UV tan ice dub and a little bit of silver holographic as well. If I can get it out of the packet. There we go. So I don't need as much silver holographic. I'd say probably about 3/4 tan, and the rest can be silver holographic. So the silver holographic sort of looks like the gut sack, I suppose, as much as anything. So we'll just stick this the first the UV tan. That's going to be towards the back portion of the body, and then follow that with the silver holographic. The silver holographic's a bit it's a bit different in consistency from like the sort of standard ice dubs. It's more like a angel hair, I suppose. Probably has wings and flash, just the same stuff. So you need to just be careful. And then I'm going to start twisting my dubbing twister. I don't like the sort of heavily weighted, rapid twist dubbing spinners. I like to use like the long sort of manual one and just keep an eye on it. Hold the thread and then you can let it go. It gives you a bit more control. It does take a bit longer, but it's definitely and to my mind, better option once it starts spinning. And make it fairly tight. You can pick it. We will be picking it out later with some Velcro. Or your dubbing needle is fine. So when you're relatively happy with your dubbing rope, just take your dubbing needle and sort of tease out any sort of the caught fibres. It makes your life a bit easier later. And then just, you don't know about the camera, just wind the dubbing brush that you've made forward, and just try not to trap too many fibres. Sort of sweep your fibres back. And then you've got just this wee tag of silver kind of towards what will be the head of the fly. Just cross your thread and tie it off. I put 3, and then I like to fold back the butt end just for a bit of security. Come in and trim it. A wee bit long there. And then if you sort of brush the ice dub so it's kind of standing a bit straight, it makes it you less likely to catch any. And then palmer the polar chenille forward. Just be careful as you go. Try to avoid catching any, or try to sort of minimise the amount that you catch at the dubbing and squash down. Quite close turns, but not touching. You want to be able to see the tan coming through. And just cross your thread. 2 turns will hold it. Trim away the excess. Now, the tying's more or less finished. So just sweep any fibres going forward of the eye. Just sweep them back. It's a bit unruly, the polar chenille sometimes. And then build up a nice smooth base here. This is going to take your eyes. So it's basically done. The last stage is just to stick on the eyes and seal in the head. So I'm just using some flat 5/32 silver tape eyes. But if you wanted, you could use like a resin eye, like a dome dye. It's really up to yourself. So now that I've got a nice wee flat base, a quick put finish. You don't need to worry too much about this because you're going to be putting resin over the head. It's a good idea to sort of fold the eye, put a wee crease in it while it's still on the tape, the backing, and that sort of helps the eye to follow the contours of the tying the fly body, stops it sticking up, like a big flat disc, which is a bit unsightly, you know. But the fish probably wouldn't care. So I'll just stick that on. There you go. And the last thing is just to come in with some UV resin. But before I do that, I'm going to just take a wee bit of copper wire just to sort of control this polishing a little bit. So if you can sort of loop it around like that, just one turn. There's a straggler. Get him. There we go. So right, that'll sort of control the polar fibre and everything while you put the resin on. It just makes your life much easier. And the last thing is now just to add some UV resin. Just to seal the head, make sure the eyes don't fall off, etc. If you find you get some, I don't know if you can actually see it in the camera, but I've got a couple of beads on just a wee strand of what looks like some of the silver ice dub. Ignore it until you set it up. Once you cure it, you'll be able to just pull it off. It'll just slide off the fibre, no trouble. So I'll just set this up with a light. Got a couple of seconds, make sure it's well set. And then we'll unwrap this. And basically now the last thing is you just, well, there's two more. Is first the magic head, right? Is this magic head is for size 4 to 2/0, right, and I'm using it in a 2, so it's a bit big. So the first thing you want to do is come in and trim some off, right, it's just too long. So just come in and sort of, like, if you follow your thumbnail, I don't know if you can see that. If you follow your thumbnail, you can trim off like a little sort of onion ring of the magic head. So you've now got like your silicone cone, a bit smaller, and then to increase the wobble, on the side, like the bottom side, the side that's got any weight, which in this case it's a unweighted fly, so it's basically the bend of the hook round to the point. If you come in and from about the midpoint of the cone down to the bottom, if you just trim a small wedge off, you'll find you'll get much better action from the fly. It's sort of one of these things that you might have to tidy up a little bit on the water you know, just to make sure it swims straight, but it's worth doing. And basically there you have it. That is the Marc Petijan baitfish, magic head baitfish. It's really effective. If you like, and I do, you can sort of give it a wee rub with some Velcro, just to bring out some of that ice dub into the fibres of the polar chenille, and that's it. Yeah, if you fish for any sort of predator, I would thoroughly encourage you to get some of these in your box. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's useful. If you liked it, or if you didn't, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, so I can make videos that you guys like. And yeah, just please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks.